I'm Aria Tolentino and I'm going to discuss about the TOWS matrix analysis, which is specifically about the Maxi-Maxi strategies and the Maxi-Mini strategies. After discussing, we are expected to learn how to formulate strategies using Maxi-Maxi and Maxi-Mini, and to be able to brainstorm and develop great ideas to generate effective marketing strategies and tactics for the business. Before discussing, I'm going to do a recap about the previous discussion or previous topic, which tackles about how to construct a main or specific problem. On my discussion, we will be discussing on how to formulate strategies to those problems identified. What is TOWS matrix analysis? TOWS matrix analysis stands for the internal strengths and weaknesses and the external opportunities and threats that the business is confronted with. In doing this, we are ought to identify situations that could be used in formulating strategies. These strategies will help the analyst draw solutions to the problems identified when you are about to write alternative courses of action. So there are steps to follow in creating TOWS matrix analysis. First, from the analysis done on the external, internal, and financial, leave the numbers of the identified strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats, and those unfavorable. Here, convert those favorable into strengths and unfavorable into weaknesses. Next, identify the combinations, several combinations between the favorable, which are the strengths and opportunities, and the unfavorable, which are the threats and weaknesses. And lastly, out of those combinations, we can now formulate strategies to help solve the problem. So there are 4 ways to formulate strategies, and we'll be discussing 2 of them. First is the Maxi-Maxi strategies, wherein you will lift the identified strengths and opportunities by which strength will be used to take advantage of the opportunities. Next is the Maxi-Mini strategies, wherein you will lift the identified pairs of the strengths and threats, wherein strength will be used to ward off threats. Next is the format of the TOWS matrix analysis. It contains the external opportunities and threats and the internal strengths and weaknesses. So in this particular cells will be a combination of the internal and external factors. So here, in order to formulate strategies, you will need the strength and opportunities. Here, the strengths and threats. Here, the weaknesses and opportunities. And here, the weaknesses and the threats. So this is Ping Ping's Lechon and Restaurant TOWS matrix analysis. So we've discussed earlier the format. Now we've enumerated the strengths, opportunities, and threats of the company. Remember to formulate only the strategies that are relevant in solving the problems and financial concerns of the company. We will now be combining strengths together with the opportunities and threats separately. So we will be using Maxi-Maxi strategies and Maxi-Mini strategies to formulate those strategies. So SO and STs will be our basis on which factors we have combined to formulate these strategies. So let's start. In S1, the proponents used that the entity was able to acquire profits from their capital employed together with the O1, wherein lechon is extremely popular in various countries. Next, so they developed the strategy in which to allot budget for product developments and variation in order to cater a diverse market. So next, they used again the strength that the entity was able to acquire profits from their capital employed together with the opportunity to increase number of stores in order to promote native pigs for the tourists and create the opportunities for them to invest and substantiate the production. And also that more Filipinos are being away from the lutong bahay and resorts to dining out. So from that, they established a strategy to engage in food cart businesses. Next, they include the strength that the entity has a good credit standing, S2, with the opportunity that the mayor of Quezon City has given a plan wherein to give stall owners a design proposal for their shops. Also, the modern technology pushes poultry industry in the future. From that, they developed a strategy to finance equipment with modern technology and the design proposal through debt financing. So we'll now be moving on to the strategies from the combined strengths and threats. So first, they used the strength in which the entity was able to acquire profits from the capital employed with 10 to 12% of the return on capital. This is the S3. With the threats that changing preferences wherein business decision affects the decision or preferences of the consumers, the T1. Next is a strategy. This strategy is formulated through the strength in which entity was able to acquire profits from their capital employed, the S1, and the threats where insecurity has been an issue since Quezon City has been on administrators' war on drugs and other crimes. So they established a strategy to increase number of CCTV cameras inside and outside of the store for lighter security. So next, they used the strength of that 24 hours lechon delivery services, S4, with the threats of frequent extreme weather wherein customers will be unable to visit or contact their business. So from that, they established a strategy to develop provincial branches to cater delivery transactions outside Metro Manila. And lastly, they also include the strength of Pingping's Lechon and Restaurant as one of the famous lechon in Manila, being 6th in top 10 of best lechon. Also, the strength that aside from their specialty lechon, they also serve different varieties of food from Filipino cuisines to Chinese cuisines. Together with the threats that of the changing preferences business that will affect the businesses or changing preferences of the consumers, also the increased costs or resources that can result in higher prices of products which will affect the demand. With that, they formulated a strategy to engage in any partnership or affiliation with the suppliers. As a summary, TOWS matrix analysis is ought to identify situations that will be helpful in formulating these strategies. So these strategies will help the analyst draw solutions on the problems identified and which will be helpful when writing alternative courses of action. That's all. Thank you.